If you've ever been in sales, you've faced this moment. You're having a great conversation and everything seems to be lining up for a deal until the customer hesitates. Maybe they bring up price, and maybe they have a concern about quality, or maybe they just seem uncertain about moving forward. What your sales reps do next is what separates the top closers from everyone else. Today, we're continuing to look at the solve step of the class consultative sales process, the step that removes obstacles, concerns, and fears, and builds long-term customer relationships. And that's what the solve step is all about, helping the customer feel heard and removing the barriers to the sale. And I'm going to give you a coaching framework that will help your sales team turn customer uncertainty and pushback into opportunities. There are two ways salespeople approach problem solving in sales. The first one is independent problem solving. This is where a salesperson is focused on just getting the sale. They push, they demand, and they don't listen. This kills deals because customers feel pressured instead of understood. And then there's interdependent problem solving. This is when a salesperson works together with the customer to find the best solution. They ask questions, they address concerns, and create win-win solutions that make the customer feel comfortable buying. The best sales reps understand that sometimes the customer might not be a perfect fit, but handling them respectfully can still lead to referrals and future business. Now let's turn to how to handle pricing objections without losing the sale. The customer says, "That sounds great, but your price is too high." And the salesperson pauses and smiles and calmly asks a question instead of immediately lowering the price. "I understand. Let me ask, what specifically are you comparing it to?" And here's the hard truth. Many sales reps panic when price comes up. They immediately drop their price or make concessions. Instead, coach your reps to handle pricing objections with confidence using these techniques. Shift the focus from price to value. Teach reps to ask, which part of the solution do you feel isn't worth the investment? And if a customer asks for a lower price, respond with, "Sure. Which features or services would you like to remove?" Years ago, I was presenting to a CEO of a home security company when he asked me to lower my price. And instead of agreeing, I asked, "Which steps in the process would you like for me to take out?" And he stopped and he looked at me and he laughed and he bought, because he realized the full process had value. Now let's sum this up with a win-win problem-solving formula. We'll call it ask, listen, respond. Ask with courage and empathy. When questions, fears, or concerns arise, coach your reps to ask open-ended questions and listen without defensiveness. Questions like, "Well, what's your biggest concern?" Or "What do you need to feel comfortable moving forward?" And then listen with sincerity. Don't assume you know their issue. The first concern they mention may not be the real one. Keep listening to find the root concern. Respond with appropriate advice. When responding, use customer stories or testimonials and education to address their fears. And if needed, adjust the offering without devaluing the service. Now let's talk about how to handle competitive pricing and abrupt pricing requests. At some point, your reps will hear, "Can you beat this competitor's price?" Never badmouth a competitor. Acknowledge the difference in price and confidently explain why. Use this script. "Yes, we may be higher, and there's a reason for that. Let me show you the added value we provide." And if a customer demands a price up front, train your reps to say, "Great, we have a number of options. Let me ask you a few questions so I can get you the best price possible for your situation." Let's quickly cover handling customer anger and frustration. When a customer is angry, you're in the solve step. The worst thing you can do is react emotionally. Instead, go back to the listen step and follow this rule. Let them vent, don't interrupt. Angry customers often need to be heard before they're ready for a solution. Many will calm down when they see that you want to listen to them. Once they calm down, shift to finding the right advice to solve the situation. I hear you. Let's find the best way to fix this. What do you think would be most helpful? This is a good thing to ask because what they propose may be very doable, even less than you would offer. And as they are still being listened to, most important to keep a customer for life. Most angry customers just want to know you care. If your reps handle this well, those customers often become loyal repeat buyers. Remember the angry hotel bill call that we talked about in the last video from Ellis? Here's the rest of the story. I didn't just let it end there. I drove 20 miles to his office and told him in person, "I'll pay for it." And he laughed, refused, and instead we built a long-term business relationship and years of doing business together, even when he moved to other companies. That's the power of the solve step. It's not just about closing one sale. It's about hearing the concerns and questions people have and giving the advice they need to help them, and building a trusting relationship that lasts for years. These ideas work at home and in business. Now go out there and coach your reps in this very important step, and we'll see you next time.